What's up, guys? All right, good morning, guys. Today is see. Today today is Friday, Thursday, February 29th. As usual, going over analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. So looking at the daily bias for US 30 bullish, daily bias for gold bullish, daily bias for EU bullish, daily bias for the US dollar is bearish. Um, this pattern has already played out. So we marked this pattern up on Tuesday of this week, and it played out perfectly. I took this trade yesterday on US 30, made a nice 2% gain. So that was a nice play out. So based off of where US 30 is right now, we'll just do a new pattern. So remember, US 30 is again at the 250, it's at the psychological level, 39,000. So again, we do the same thing. So if anybody is looking to sell, again, remember the psychological level, 250, 39,250. But since this has already been tapped in, remember when we were looking for the same pattern last time? If US 30 comes back up here, I'm not sure selling would be a good idea. But anyway, so what we'll do here would be something like this, 250 point manipulation. Because remember, when you get to these psychological levels, if you're looking for whether it's a buy or sell, depending on what you're looking for, wait for the 250 point manipulation before trying anything. Because anybody who's going to or who's trying to sell US 30 right now, I'm pretty sure it's just pumping and pumping. So if we look at what we have right now, we have a break and continuation setup. So this one is what? 20. So what we'll do here, let's redo this zone. We always want to go for the most optimal zone. So we have a break and continuation currently going on right here. So it's based off of this candle. So this is break and continuation buy. It already validated. And then break continuation. Of course, the trade validated up here and possibly would be at break even for now for 1:1. So right now, this trade already achieved 1:1 risk to reward. So we go ahead and delete that. This trade has already achieved a 1:1. Also, yes, this same two candles created a break and continuation for all these zones right here. But of course, we always ask ourselves, which is the most optimal zone? So the most optimal zone was the one at the bottom. So we would need to wait for a new trade setup of these zones that are right here. So right now, there's nothing I see here for US 30. Yes, you can still trade this break and continuation. But even then, um, of all these zones right here, the trade has been invalidated because trade would have been a 1:1 risk to reward and would have achieved break even. So actually, never mind. So we have nothing on the 15-minute time frame for US 30. On the 30-minute, we do not have any zones. This is 46 to 26, maybe. Yes, 20. Okay, yeah, so that's a zone as well. So we have a break. We have a break and continuation here. However, the most optimal entry for this trade is down here. So we have a break and continuation based off of two zones. So this bottom zone and this top zone. And we can try and see where this trade would achieve 1:1 risk to reward. So somewhere around here, 50. So that's where price would achieve 1:1. So yes, it's also based off of this zone, but ask yourself which is the most optimal. The most optimal is pre-news level, and US 30 can possibly come back, excuse me, to this pre-news level. So we'll do that. And then here, here, let's turn on our zones indicator. Let's see where, okay. So this trade would be better than this because remember, if we are buying, we want to buy in an area that has demand. If we're selling, we ought to sell in an area that has demand. So this SAR zone does not, it's in no man's land. It's in between supply and demand. You don't want that price action because price is coming from this supply zone that's up here. So I'll leave that markup down there. We don't have any momentum entries on gold right here. Same thing about gold. Gold has too many zones that are right here. It's crazy. Give me 1 second. I'll delete this and create this, that, and see, this one is based off of that zone in order to minimize the amount of zones we have. This one is based off of, can be based off of that. Let's see. This is tricky. Give me 1 second. $33. 2.7. Let's see. Let's redo this zones on gold because we have new zones. Save that. All right, so same thing about gold. We just have too many zones. This candle broke so many zones. Right here. We just have too much going on with gold right now. Let's see, let's do that. And here we can do that. Save. Yeah, for gold, there's nothing really. We have too many zones here. So I'd wait for gold to come back down here. Same thing on the 30-minute time frame. We just have too many zones as well. So I don't see any trade going on before then. For EU, and we have no momentum entries on gold as well. What we'll do here is 1 second. Sorry, I'm multitasking. But there's no trades. I don't see us catching any trades today. Price is so overextended, and before it comes anywhere back down. So EU as well. EU, we have a break and continuation, so that already happened. Have a test and rejection right here. So the test and rejection entry would be in profit because it's a test and rejection. This would have been the EU trade right there. And trade would be running, but yeah, there's nothing that I see on EU. Wait, actually, I forgot to check the zones. Even for the zones, I wouldn't have taken that trade. It's not in a demand zone. On the 30-minute as well, we have a possible. We had a nice, you see this one right here, test and rejection entry right there. If we turn on the zones on the 30, let's see, might need to refresh this. But this happened before even New York session. But this was a nice, we turn on the zones. Yeah, so this was a nice one as well. But it was based off of one candle. So again, I don't want to be trading demand or supply zones that are based off of one candle. So this demand zone was based off of one candle. But yeah, here we had a test and rejection entry on EU right there. I think it validated. This looks like it was like at I need to reset this time, but this one would be on its way to profit. Let me reset this. Yeah, so today I don't see any trades, unfortunately. Let's save. When we go to, let's look at the higher time frames. Okay, on the hourly time frame here, we have something for US 30, 932. On the hourly time frame, we have a trade for US 30. We can wait for that one because it will close in the next 12 minutes. So on US 30 on the hourly time frame, we have a break and continuation setup. So we have this double SAR. So we go ahead and mark this up. This is break and continuation buy. So it's pending. So what we would expect from here, and also we turn on again the zones indicator, but as you go higher in time frames, you'll see like a discrepancy between, you'll see a lot of no man's land trades. So some of this ones in the hourly or 4-hour time frames, it's a little tricky to even try and play the zones because the zones are so far away. But even then, if you're still going to use that zone or confluence, you still need to check where the next zone is. So here for US 30, what I can see is probably something like this. So if price gets here and then comes back there. So it's 936. It's like about 100-point manipulation back down. So this might be a trade for US 30. Let's